Three-day prayer for Buhari holds Wednesday in Daura. Atiku quits PDP, moves towards new opposition coalition. Deadly plateau attack renews fears over farmers' safety. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrikes pound Damascus amid sectarian clashes in southern Syria. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update on Trust TV. My name is Idris Dayabaturi. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima, along with Kano State Governor Dikko and Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, on Wednesday joined hundreds of mourners in Daura for the Fidel prayer held in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. The prayer gathering at Buhari's residence brought together top government officials, traditional leaders, community members, and well-wishers from across Nigeria. They came to pay their respect and offer prayers for the soul of the former president, whose leadership left a significant mark on the nation. Vice President Shettima led prayers asking for strength and comfort for the Buhari family and the people of Kano State during this period of mourning. Governors Radda and Zulum also expressed condolences, emphasizing Buhari's contributions to Nigeria's unity and development. The Fidel prayer is part of a series of rites to honor the late leader, reflecting the deep respect and reverence Nigerians hold for him. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has formally resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, marking a significant shift in Nigeria's political landscape ahead of the 2027 general elections. Atiku Abubakar, who was the PDP's presidential candidate in both the 2019 and 2023 elections, made his decision known in a letter addressed to the PDP Ward Chairman of Jada Ward 1 in Jada local government area of Adamawa State. The letter, dated July 14 and obtained by Daily Trust on Wednesday, was confirmed by one of Atiku's media aides. In the letter, the former vice president stated that his resignation was prompted by what he described as the PDP's departure from its founding values. Atiku expressed gratitude for the opportunities the PDP had offered him over the years, including serving as vice president for 2 terms and being a 2-time presidential candidate. This resignation comes amid Atiku's recent effort to form a coalition of opposition leaders, which has culminated in the adoption of the Action Democratic Congress ADC as a unified platform to challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Now, gunmen have reportedly launched a deadly attack on Bindi Jebu in the Tahos community of Riom local government area of Plateau State, killing no fewer than 27 farmers, including both men and women. Trust TV gathered that several others sustained injuries and were rushed to various hospitals, including Jos University Teaching Hospital, Plateau Specialist Hospital, and other nearby health facilities. Ado Musa reports.
According to residents, the assailant stormed the community around 4 a.m. on Tuesday while villagers were asleep. The attackers were said to have opened fire indiscriminately and set several houses ablaze. The leadership of Biram Youth Molders Association alleged that the attackers were members of Fulani ethnic group. However, the Plateau State chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, Ibrahim Yusuf Babayo, dismissed the accusation and described it as baseless. Meanwhile, some residents of the community have been reacting to the latest incident.
Sincerely, it is very sad and unfortunate that up to today, these things have not come to an end. You have just witnessed, you've gone around together here, you've seen the dead bodies yourself. 27 people lying down, okay? You've seen the corpses yourself. 27 people. This is very sad.
As a woman, I am not happy. Women are becoming widows. Children are becoming orphans. I am calling on the president as the chief security of this country. He should do something.
The national president of the Biram Youth Molders Association, Daliop Solomon, gave details on how the incident unfolded.
Because that is what they usually do. Their modus operandi to attack villages and communities is to come massively, with their cows, and then of course the attackers will pin down and the cattle will go back. And that was the exact thing that happened last night.
Stakeholders in the area expressed shock over the incident. especially as security measures had recently been heightened in the region.
At 4 a.m., though they started showing some signs before that time, and of course we made some moves to see that there are security men from Sector 6 with 2 gun trucks, and I was satisfied that my people are well protected. But I discovered that about 21 souls, lives have gone far beyond the sun.
In day out, people are being killed. The terrain is so porous, and that is why some of us have argued that we need a state police in this country. If we don't have state police, we'll continue to have this problem.
The General Officer Commanding 3 Division, Major General Folusho Onyilola, visited the scene of the attack and assured residents of increased security deployment to prevent further violence. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, tragedy has struck Guma local government area of Benue State following fresh attacks by armed herdsmen, leaving 1 person dead and several others missing. Reports say the attackers invaded Sekar village in Opohol, Niev Council Ward, where a resident identified as Tiog William was killed in a related development. The armed herdsmen reportedly ambushed a group of thief travelers along the Yogbo-Gungu Azi Road. The victims were said to be returning from Yogbo to Otse community when the assailant struck. According to local sources, one of the travelers, Udam Dogo, is still missing. Concerns grew along relatives when calls to his phone were answered by an unknown header, raising serious fears for his safety. However, the total number of casualties and missing persons is yet to be officially confirmed. When contacted, the Benue State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Udeme Edet said she was not aware of the incident at the time of the reports. Now, the Kano State government says it is stepping up efforts to tackle the growing menace of phone snatching, political thuggery, and youth violence across the state. As part of the renewed initiative, over 700 profiled political thugs are now being engaged under a youth rehabilitation program. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports that in that light, a high-level stakeholder engagement focused on strengthening government partnership with civil society organizations has been held. His reports.
In response to increasing urban insecurity, security operatives in Kano have intensified crackdowns, raiding criminal hideouts and black spots across the metropolis. But beyond enforcement, the state government and civil society leaders are exploring long-term solutions at this one-day stakeholder meeting. The dialogue focused on charting a new course to tackle youth-related crimes, especially phone snatching and street thuggery. Civil society actors are advocating for more community-based and preventive approaches.
Our community leaders and ulamas also have their own way to preach for revisiting our positive moral values. Gaskiya ba tarbiya, in the history yaro baya raina babba, yanzu amma akwai wannan.
Their lives, we need to see actions being taken. We need to see a timeline on how they are going to be reformed and rehabilitated so that they will not continue to be going back to their old ways. And also on the issue of some people sponsoring this thuggery in Kano State, there are some assumptions that some politicians are behind this issue of thuggery in Kano State. So the Kano State government, I think, should be bold enough to start prosecuting these sponsors.
Saboda yawancin yaran da suke yin waɗannan abubuwan 'yan unguwa ne.
Many of those involved in these crimes operate within communities where they are well known, but they act with impunity because they believe no one can stop them. That's why empowering community leaders and strengthening community policing is so important.
Representing the state government, the Commissioner for Information, Ibrahim Waya, reiterated the administration's commitment to inclusive and sustainable strategies.
So far, under the project that was actually initiated by the former Commissioner of Police, Gunmen, about 718 political talks have already been profiled. And we have the whole list, and we have already now started establishing a cluster, local government by local government. And we have gone far in that, and we're going to be expanding the scope of the people that will be first be engaged in the process.
He also reaffirmed government's dedication to transparency, disclosing ongoing efforts to fully implement Kano State Freedom of Information Law.
It was not quite a long time that the governor signed the new action plan for the OGV in the state, including the thematic area around the issue of access to information. So I want to also share with you that very soon we're going to be establishing a small team that will work with the Ministry of Information and Internal Affairs and to engage with all other critical stakeholders to ensure that the Freedom of Information Act or law version of the Kano State government is realized and come into life.
At the close of the session, both government and civil society groups pledged continued collaboration, focusing on youth empowerment, safer communities, and lasting peace. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, the Kano State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Ali Makoda, has ordered a thorough investigation into the mysterious death of 2 students at the government boarding secondary school, Bichi. The deceased students, Hamza Tufawa and Umar Dungurawa, were allegedly attacked by colleagues using local metal object known as gwale gwale. This is contained in a statement by the Ministry's Director of Public Enlightenment, Balaraba Kiru, and made available to newsmen on Wednesday. According to the statement, the commissioner, who spoke through the permanent secretary of the ministry, Bashir Muhammad, assured that the state government will conduct a fair and transparent investigation, promising that justice will be served for all parties involved. He also sympathized with the deceased families and other relatives and prayed for the peaceful repose of their souls. In his remarks, the director of the secondary school, Kano State Senior Secondary School Management Board, Abbas Abdullahi, expressed deep sorrow over the incident, emphasizing that students must not misuse their privileges and take the law into their hands. Now, the Federal High Court in Lagos has discharged the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, on charges of money laundering and theft amounting to 6.9 billion naira. Justice Chukwujeku Aneke discharged the former governor after upholding his no-case submission filed to challenge his trial by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The court held that the EFCC had not been able to link Fayose to the crime, nor was a prima facie case made against him to warrant further defense. On May 20, the court had reserved its decision after hearing argument from counsel to Fayose, Chief Kanu Agabi, son, Olale Kano Joe, representing the second defendant, Spotless Investment Limited, and Rotimi Jacob's son, who represented the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Fayose was initially arraigned in 2018 before Justice Mojishola Olateregun, but the EFCC later secured a transfer of the case to Justice Aneke. According to charges, Fayose allegedly took possession of 1.2 billion naira for his 2014 gubernatorial campaign and received $5 million in cash from Obani Koro by passing financial institutions. Now, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Calabar, Professor Florence Obi, has appealed for calm over the non-induction of the graduating dentistry students of the institution. Her appeal comes amid the ongoing crisis over the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria's MDCN failure to induct the 2016 dentistry student within the next few months. The Vice Chancellor promised the affected students and their parents that the issue will be resolved in the next few months. Professor Obi said that the issue is essentially as a result of over-admission of students with the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, saying that these students cannot be accommodated. Instead of the approved 10 students, the institution admitted 60, which violated the MDCN's directive. She said the university is working to resolve the issue, adding that they have been networking with other programs within the university and other universities to see where the affected student could be fixed. This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Unregistered businesses face sanctions as CAC tightens compliance. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. 3-day prayer for Buhari holds Wednesday in Daura. And Atiku quits PDP, moves towards new opposition coalition. Now moving to other stories. Nigeria's constitution mandates businesses, regardless of their nature, and register with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) if they must operate in the country. This registration ensures legal recognition and access to numerous benefits. However, many businesses continue to operate without registration, often due to lack of awareness and understanding of the process of its advantages, as Trust TV's Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima reports.
Some business owners who have yet to register with the CAC attributed their delay to a lack of orientation from authorities. They claim that there is insufficient information on the benefit of registration and the legal implications of operating without it under Nigeria's Companies Allied Matters Act.
It is not illegal something. It is a good citizen. You make me a good citizen, which I did the correct thing. If government will do that, but for me like this, I'll just carry my money like that and go and register. I can't register it like as now that I sit down. I'm using POS, but I do not register it because there is not any income. If I carry that money and register, it is a loss to me. There are many small business that they do not know anything about CS because they do not introduce it. Most of us, it is on social media, and it's not everybody that have big phone that is using to watch all those things on social media.
Yeah, it's very important. So government need to know everything. Any business that a person can do, like all these small business, they need to know something about it because it's their responsibility. Because it's our country, we both grow the country together. So they need to know something about us. And they need to enlighten us to know the benefits.
On the other hand, registered business owners like Muhammad Bello are encouraging others to comply with the law. Bello highlights the numerous advantages of registration, emphasizing that these benefits are exclusive to registered businesses.
It is crucial for business owners to register their businesses with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) and consistently pay their taxes. This enables the government to maintain accurate record of active businesses, ensuring transparency and accountability in the economy. Operating an unregistered business in Nigeria is not only non-compliant but also counterproductive. Without proper registration, the government cannot recognize your business.
Legal expert Matthew Akinsanya stressed the importance of CAC registration, warning that operating without proper registration can lead to penalties as stipulated by CAMA. He urged business owners to take necessary steps to legalize their operations.
Yeah, so it's very important to register businesses, no matter the scale, whether it's small, whether it's medium, whether it's big. It provides several avenues, access to finance and funding provided by so many finance houses and banks. If you need to expand, you need capital to inject into your businesses. If you do not have a proper registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission, it becomes very difficult to be able to access those fundings. Okay, so basically it's illegal to run a business that you have not registered. And so there are taxes, for instance, that you will have to pay that may not be tracked, right? There are certain payments you may have to do with government that because it is not registered, it may become very difficult to track all of that. And what that means is that if it is discovered, one may be penalized.
Registering a business with the CAC is not just a legal requirement, but a crucial step towards securing its future, as it provides legitimacy, access to benefits, and protection under the law. Abubakar Abdullahi Galadima, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now in business, Nigeria's headline inflation rate for June 2025 is to 22.22% when compared to the May 2025 headline inflation rate of 22.97%. A report by the National Bureau of Statistics has revealed the drop, which is the third in the last 3 months, was a marginal decrease by 0.76% compared to the May 2025 headline inflation rate. The report, however, stated that the Consumer Price Index rose to 123.4 in June 2025, reflecting a 2.0 point increase from the preceding month, 121.4. On a year-on-year basis, the inflation in June 2024, it added that on a one-month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in June 2025 was 1.68, recorded in May 2025 at 1.53%. It said food inflation rate in June 2025 was 21.97% on year-on-year basis. Now, away from Nigeria, the Israeli military has launched airstrikes targeting the Syrian Defense Ministry and areas near the presidential palace in Damascus, killing at least one person and injuring 18 others. These attacks follow Israel's warning to increase military action in Syrian government forces to do not withdraw from southern Syria, where clashes have erupted between Druze fighters and security forces. Meanwhile, in the Gaza Strip, the health ministry reported that at least 21 people were killed during an attack on a food distribution site run by the controversial US and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Fund. The United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees has raised alarm over the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, revealing that 1 in 10 children screened at their clinics are suffering from malnutrition. This comes amid Israel's ongoing siege, which has sparked fears of a man-made starvation crisis. Since the conflict escalated, Gaza's health ministry estimates that over 58,000 people have been killed, with nearly 140,000 wounded. And now in sport, the technical study group TSG has unveiled that best 11 from the group stage of the ongoing 2024 CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco. Nigeria's captain Rasheedat Ajibade and defender Ashley Plumpter were both named in the lineup, while striker Chinwendu Ihezuo, despite scoring twice, was a notable omission. The team, arrayed in a classic 4-3-3 formation, highlights the top performers from the tournament opening phase, which featured 45 goals across 18 matches. Zambia's prolific attacking pair, Barbara Branda and Rachel Kundananji, were unsurprisingly included in the front line alongside Senegal striker Ndiaye. Players from South Africa and host nation Morocco also made the prestigious list. South Africa's Desiree Ellis was named the best coach of the group stage. The quarterfinals are set to kick off on Friday, with Nigeria facing Zambia in a highly anticipated clash. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. My name is Idris Layebature, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.